artificial intelligence and estate agency. Today I'm joined by Ian Preston, well-known estate agent from Yorkshire with his firm Preston Baker, and he's here to talk to me about AI and estate agency. Ian, talk to me.
So there's two different types of artificial intelligence technology that people should be aware of. One is large language models, so that's ChatGPT, yep. And then the other one is predictive analytics. So that's where you use data to make predictions about what will happen next.
Rightmove have got a model which predicts who's going to be moving homes. And I know there are other models like 20EA that have sort of things. Is this the predictive thing that you're talking about?
Yeah, to a certain extent, but there's a big difference. So you've got 20EA, you've got Rightmove with their Rightmove Discover product, and also Street have got a predictive analytics model as well. The big difference for estate agents is that you have got within your database signals which are much stronger than what certainly 20EA and Street.
That's just kind of, they're that age, they're that demographic. Are you talking about, with regard to marketing, I know this, the life cycle product,
yeah,
which basically monitors your activity on social media and trigger points to kind of flag up to say, I think you need to be talking to this person.
That's right. So the stuff which we're experimenting at the moment, we use Salesforce, and Salesforce has out of the box AI technology, which allows you to make predictions using their product called Einstein. And so you can put in all of these trigger points. So let's say, for example, you wanted to predict, of all the people in my database, so we have 62,000 property owners in our database.
Yeah, why the hell are estate agents put them all into bloody archive and don't use anything with it?
Well, it's the way they organise their data. And so for the anoraks out there, I don't know.
Sorry, I'm really
okay. So every property on every single street in our area exists on our database as a static record. So if there's 100 houses on the street, even if we've never interacted with any of those houses, there is a property record. And then we wash over the top of that data that we buy from companies like 20A or Sprift, where it might be the number of bedrooms, garage, gardens, estimated value. So if you can imagine, we've got 1 million property records in our database, and they are all searchable. So in other words, you could search by bedroom number, broadband speed, estimated value. You then wash over that property owners. So these are people that we know who own that house. So we make
that's your data.
That's our data, exactly. So effectively, we have out of that 1 million records.
1 million, that's your patch?
That's our patch. We have 62,000 who we know own that house. That might have been a landlord, that might be somebody who's booked a valuation. And then as people move out of those homes, we check on land registry to remove them as the property owner. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So therefore, we're constantly cleaning that database.
Yes.
So it's not a question of archiving people. It's a question of maintaining an active property ownership database. And each one of those people, you get signals from them as to whether or not they're looking to move. So one of the things which we buy from 20EA is the propensity to sell model. So if you can imagine, I know that you own your house in Grantham. I know that you're predicted in the top 10% of people likely.
Because that stuff does work.
Absolutely.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
I've seen it with my own eyes.
Yeah. And so you're in the top 10%. We know where you are. And then we see that you've clicked on a marketing email. So we feed all of that into our predictive analytics model. And we say, not only is it based on 20EA's big data piece, but it's based on your behaviors with us. Does that make sense?
So you're matching up the predictive stuff from 20EA.
Yes.
And you're matching with the actions of the person.
Bingo.
And the sum is great, the whole is greater than the
Absolutely. So 20EA don't know that they've just registered as a buyer.
No, they don't.
And they don't know that they've just booked a viewing. They don't know that they had a valuation 6 months ago. And so what we do is we have all of these triggers firing in the database which create events. And that might be that you, and so the other thing which we get from 20EA is on market data. So a bit like you get from Street, 20EA, Build Your Market. So that's then automatically linked into our database so that we can then see that you've just listed your house, that you've reduced your price. So rather than it being a separate siloed system like Spectre, it's actually within the database. So as people come on and off the market, that then creates these triggers. We put those triggers into the learning model, and that then creates the list of people for our agents to call. That makes sense.
It makes perfect sense, but you're talking not like an estate agent.
So that's one use case of AI, that's prediction. Then the other bit is content generation. Don't panic, it's not going to wipe out content writers. But let me use you as an example. If you gave ChatGPT 20 of your articles and said, write me another article in the style of Chris Watkins, this is my style, make it a 300-word output, doing A, B, C, D, E, it could then produce you a fairly good, piece of content.
I use
Fantastic.
I do
Right,
actually
amazing.
use ChatGPT with some of my articles.
Fantastic. And as you should.
Because you shouldn't be afraid of it.
Absolutely right. And so, for example, all of our property descriptions now are written by ChatGPT. So built into the CRM, this is not, we don't go to ChatGPT, this is integrated into the CRM. And we've taken Rightmove's best practice, as in how you write it. We then put in 10 bullet points in 3 different categories. We click a button, it fires it to ChatGPT, then it populates it directly into the CRM. The agent then checks it to make sure that it's appropriate and it conforms with consumer protection regulations, and then the description is ready to go.
Because I think a lot of people, a lot of agents, we all went on to ChatGPT to start with, had a bit of a play with it, and then kind of left it. It's like most things. It's what you put in, the questions you ask it.
Absolutely. And so we've got a methodology which we've taken from other people, which is about prompt writing. And so Alex, our Chief Technology Officer, has got this structure which he uses, which is about the role. So you have to tell it who it is. So it might be, I'm a friendly estate agent.
Yes.
I am, so that might be my role. The description of what you want, so a really clear, articulated description, and then the output which you want, so the format that you want in. So give me 300 words, it's going to be an email, it's going to be an SMS message.
Yes.
And so the other thing which we've developed recently is about matching. So, a matching email which might go out. So we've got a new instruction. It's 24 hours before it's hit Rightmove. So we're giving them something exclusive. And in that matching email, we customize it with the behaviors of what they've done in our database. So if you imagine, rather than it being a matching email, oh, hey, it's 54 Blog Street, instead it's, oh, hi, Chris, it's Ian here from Preston Baker. I just wanted to let you know that since you viewed that house on Acacia Gardens, I've got this new one, which has actually got the same 3 bedrooms that you're looking for. Now, the feedback you gave on your last viewing was that it was too near the main road. I'm delighted to say that this property is actually not on the main road. When would be a great time for you to view it? Click here to book your viewing.
And ChatGPT
has taken the data points that we've given it about viewing feedback, who they are, what they're looking for, what are the properties they've seen, and then it creates a customized email. So rather than it being a matching email, which is just look at our 3-bedroom semi, it is entirely customized to you, en masse.
which is, if you read all the marketing books, that's what it's all about, is being personalized to the person concerned.
That's it. And so this is the beauty of AI, is that effectively, for the way we try to think about this is like a funnel. So if you imagine the number of people who visit our website each month might be, say, 60,000. The number of people who then interact with us, i.e. send us a digital lead through Rightmove, make a phone call, is in the thousands. And then the number of people who might book a viewing might be in the hundreds. And then the number of people who might list with us might be in the low hundreds. And so we grow down that funnel. And we think about high skill, high tech as our philosophy. So we want beautifully trained people who are exceptional in face-to-face environments, doing what you and I are doing today. And we want robots who can do things with incredible consistency, with beautiful personalization to do things at the top of the funnel, so that you and I can spend more time at the bottom of the funnel doing the high skill jobs. Does that make sense?
Yes, because a robot couldn't have a chat like this.
Correct. So the thing is that when people are thinking, oh, AI, it's going to replace all jobs, it sort of will, but it's not the robot who's going to replace you. It's a human using the robot who will.
It will get rid of the £10 an hour people roles, but the ones that are good enough will be earning £30-40 an hour.
Exactly. So the thing is, if we think about, so one of the reasons why I'm pushing so hard in this direction with every business that we've got. So for example, the last 2 administrators in our company will be leaving by the end of August. And they are being replaced by the systems and processes that I've just described. So those jobs, low skill, relatively low skill job. I'm not taking anything away from the wonderful people who work incredibly diligently in those roles, but automation can do a lot of what they do if automation's done really well.
So you've set up your own CRM.
Yep.
You've integrated, I can never say that word.
Integrated.
Integrated AI into it,
Yep.
and it's producing you better results.
100%.
Why do you think other agents have not adopted this so far?
Because it's hard and it's not what we normally do. So I think estate agents are incredibly reliant from a systems and process point of view on CRMs and the technology, the wonderful prop tech suppliers which go around that.
Well, I tell you what, why don't we talk about CRMs in the next video?
Yeah, let's do that.
Thank you for your time today.
Pleasure.